Somewhere over a Chinese city right now, a flying car is splitting apart in midair, on purpose. An air taxi is landing. No pilot inside, no one at the controls, just a machine deciding everything on its own. A flying ambulance is turning into an airborne ICU, keeping a patient alive at 3,000 feet in a vehicle that didn't exist 5 years ago. A cargo drone the size of a small airplane is hauling tons of freight across the sky, with 0 human hands anywhere near it. And somewhere in a hangar, an aircraft is being built so large, so advanced, that it could quietly end the way we've traveled for the last 100 years. Nobody's coming to warn you about this. There's no headline, no global announcement, no moment where the world stopped and said, "This changed everything." It's just happening, quietly, rapidly, while most of the planet is still debating whether flying cars are even possible. They're not debating it in China. They're not even talking about it anymore. They're just flying. By the time you finish this video, you'll understand why the rest of the world may not see this coming until it's already too late to catch up. 15 Chinese flying inventions, real, certified, already in the sky. This is proof China is 10 years ahead. And I want you to comment with your honest reaction at the end, because after what you're about to see, some of you are going to agree with me, and some of you are going to be furious. Let's begin. At number 15, the XPeng AeroHT X2. This isn't a rendering. This isn't a prototype hidden behind closed doors. This is a 2-seat, teardrop-shaped flying car that has already flown publicly in front of 150 witnesses at Skydive Dubai. 8 rotors, a carbon fiber body, altitudes up to 3,200 feet, speeds near 80 miles per hour, and over 15,000 manned test flights logged by its maker before it ever left China. Here's the uncomfortable part. While American and European companies are still fighting over airspace permits and safety paperwork, XPeng already has a permit from the Dubai Civil Aviation Authority, completed, approved, and flown. The company behind it, AeroHT, now calls itself the largest flying car company in Asia. Not aspiring to be. Already is. If that doesn't make you a little uneasy about who's actually winning this race, you haven't been paying attention. This is number 15. At number 14, the GAC Govy AirJet. GAC isn't a startup, it's a state-owned auto giant, the 5th largest car manufacturer in China, and in December 2024, it stopped just making cars and started building aircraft. The Govy AirJet is a composite wing flying taxi, built from carbon fiber, capable of hitting 250 kilometers per hour in the air. That's over 150 miles per hour, with a range that will eventually stretch to 400 kilometers once solid-state batteries arrive. Inside, it doesn't look like a cockpit. It looks like a lounge, ambient lighting, wireless charging, and a navigation screen that stretches the width of the cabin. This is what happens when a government-backed auto giant decides the sky is the next parking lot. And here's the part that should genuinely concern any competitor watching from the outside. GAC didn't stop at one aircraft. They already followed this one up with a second model, the AirCab. Mass production ready, pre-orders open, guide price under $234,000. This is number 14, government money, public roads, 2 flying vehicles in 1 year. If you think that's fast, wait until you see what China's actual space program has been quietly building. At number 13 is the CASC 9th Academy flying car. No flashy brand name, no startup logo. This one comes from China's aerospace agency, the same organization behind China's rockets and satellites, quietly building something most car companies haven't even attempted. It looks like a normal electric car, until it doesn't. At the push of a button, it splits, the wings deploy, the chassis separates from the cabin, and in seconds, a car becomes an aircraft. It flies at speeds up to 93 miles per hour, reaching altitudes of nearly 10,000 feet. And when the flight is over, it lands, reconnects, and drives another 186 miles as if nothing happened. Right now, it's being tested at an airport outside Chongqing, one step closer to a world where traffic simply stops being a problem you can't fly over. Ask yourself this: if China's space agency is casually building flying cars on the side, what does that tell you about what they're building that we haven't seen yet? This is number 13. But splitting apart isn't the only trick these machines have learned. Some of them are being built for something far more urgent, saving lives from the sky. At number 12, the EH216-F. While most drones are still filming from a distance, this one flies straight into the fire. Built by EHang and rolled off the production line at their dedicated low-altitude emergency rescue headquarters in Beijing. The EH216-F is a purpose-built firefighter designed from the ground up for exactly one mission: getting into places human firefighters can't reach fast enough. It flies fully autonomously, no pilot required, guided entirely by its onboard systems and a ground command center. It reaches altitudes up to 2,000 feet, delivers firefighting payloads directly to high-rise blazes, and operates in conditions that would ground a traditional helicopter. This isn't a prototype sitting in a lab. It's part of China's official emergency rescue infrastructure, built under the country's national 5-year plan for low-altitude technology. While the rest of the world is still debating drone regulations, China is already sending them into burning buildings. This is number 12. If a machine can fly into a fire to save lives, what happens when the machine itself becomes the vehicle you ride to get there? This next one isn't an aircraft at all. It's something stranger. At number 11, the Kuickwheel Skyrider X6. This one doesn't look like an aircraft, it looks like a motorcycle. And that's exactly the point. Built by Chinese company Kuickwheel through its Richter division, the Skyrider X6 drives like a normal 3-wheeled electric bike, up to 43 miles per hour with a range of over 120 miles. But hit the wrong stretch of traffic, and this thing doesn't wait in line. 6 rotors deploy. The bike lifts straight off the road, and suddenly you're flying up to 44 miles per hour for roughly half an hour in the air, powered by nothing but electricity. It's built from carbon fiber and aviation-grade aluminum. It carries a built-in ballistic parachute in case anything goes wrong. And it's already available for pre-order in China, priced at around $69,000. The only thing standing between this bike and the open sky is paperwork. China hasn't fully legalized low-altitude civilian airspace yet, which means the hardest part of this machine isn't the engineering, it's the permission. Here's a question for the comments. If this were street legal tomorrow, would you actually buy one? Or does the idea of a flying motorcycle terrify you more than it excites you? This is number 11, but some of these machines aren't waiting for permission to save lives. They're already being built for the moment everything goes wrong. At number 10, Transfuture Aviation's Honghu Mark I. Born out of Northwestern Polytechnical University, this 5-seat eVTOL isn't built for sightseeing. It's built for emergencies. 6 tilting propellers, a 13-meter wingspan, a cruise speed of 174 miles per hour, and a mission profile built entirely around one job: getting to people who don't have time to wait for a traditional ambulance. It's already completed live emergency response drills. Not simulations on a screen, but real tests, real timing, real stakes. Somewhere, right now, this machine could be the difference between a person living or dying in the next 10 minutes. And most of the world has never even heard its name. This is number 10. We're only a third of the way through this list, and it already gets bigger, faster, and far more controversial from here. Stick around, because number 9 is a machine so large, some are calling it the beginning of the end for human cargo pilots. At number 9, the Chang'e 8. This isn't a delivery drone. This is a cargo aircraft, and it just made its first flight without a single person on board. The Chang'e 8 is a 7-ton class unmanned transport drone, built to haul serious freight across serious distances. On March 31st, 2026, it completed its maiden flight at Zhengzhou Shangji Airport. A 30-minute mission, fully managed by an intelligent flight system. No pilot, no co-pilot, no one in the cockpit at all. Because there is no cockpit. Think about what that actually means. An aircraft the size of a small airliner, carrying tons of cargo and making autonomous decisions in real airspace. And it worked. First try. Clean landing. Cargo pilots have one of the most stable, well-paid jobs in aviation. Machines like this are the first real sign that stability might not last. At number 8, the Aerofugia AE200. Most flying prototypes exist to impress investors. This one already has customers. The AE200 is a 5 to 6 seat eVTOL with a 200-kilometer range, built for passenger transport, air tourism, and emergency rescue. And unlike most aircraft on this list, it isn't chasing its first sale. It's already secured 300 confirmed purchase orders. Behind it, leasing agreements with Avic International and Suyin Financial, 2 of the biggest names in Chinese aviation finance, both willing to put real money behind an aircraft that hasn't even finished certification yet. That's the part worth sitting with. Investors aren't betting on whether flying taxis will happen. They're betting on which company gets there first, and money is already flowing toward the answer. This is number 8. At number 7, the EHang EH216-S. Every aircraft on this list so far is still proving itself. This one already has. The EH216-S made history as the first pilotless eVTOL in the world to receive a full type certificate, production certificate, and standard airworthiness certificate, issued by China's aviation regulator back in October 2023. Not a permit to test, a certificate to operate. It carries 2 passengers, cruises at 62 miles per hour, reaches altitudes up to 3,000 meters, and flies a 22-mile range with 0 pilots on board. Just you, a passenger seat, and a machine flying itself. And it's not staying in China. This aircraft has already flown demo routes in Qatar, in Spain, in Japan. While most countries are still writing the rulebook for autonomous air taxis, China is already exporting the aircraft the rulebook is supposed to regulate. Ask yourself, if a country with some of the strictest aviation oversight in the world just let a pilotless aircraft fly over a city, what does that tell you about how confident they are that it won't fail? This is number 7. At number 6, the Zhejiang University Jetpack. Forget aircraft, this one doesn't even have wings. Built by JetRob, a research team out of Zhejiang University's Honghu Institute, this is a jet-powered backpack, 5 compact turbojet engines, 1 mounted on the back, 2 more strapped to each arm, controlled entirely by the pilot's own movement. In October 2025, engineer Zhao Bojing strapped it on in front of a live crowd at a university open day. He spread his arms. The engines roared, and he lifted straight off the ground, hovering, shifting direction, flying off into the distance, circling back, and landing on his feet. All of it filmed. All of it is real. The suit weighs 31 kilograms empty and 46 fully fueled. It flies for 3 to 5 minutes at a time at altitudes below 1,500 meters. But here's the detail that should stop you cold. Zhao himself has said the next step isn't a better pilot. It's no pilot at all. His team is already exploring a future where humanoid robots wear this exact suit, flying into hazardous environments no human would risk entering. A jetpack that started as one man's science fiction dream might end up being flown by something that was never human to begin with. This is number 6. At number 5, XPeng's land aircraft carrier. This one isn't a flying car, it's 2 vehicles that become one machine. The system starts with what XPeng calls the mothership, a 6-wheel drive ground vehicle over 18 feet long, built on an 800-volt platform with a hybrid range of 620 miles. On its own, it's already an impressive piece of engineering, but the mothership isn't the point, it's the carrier. Docked inside is a detachable 2-seat eVTOL, a fully separate aircraft that deploys on demand, flies its own mission, and docks itself back into the vehicle when it's done. Drive to the edge of traffic, deploy the aircraft, fly over it, land, reconnect, keep driving. XPeng isn't building this in a garage. Full production is already underway at a dedicated factory in Guangzhou, starting at 5,000 units a year, scaling toward 10,000, priced at roughly $287,000. And here's the number that should actually worry every legacy automaker watching this. Over 3,000 people have already placed intent orders for a vehicle that doesn't fully exist yet in mass production. This is number 5. At number 4, the Volant Aerotech VE25X1. Some companies chase headlines. This one is chasing a production line that can barely keep up with demand. The VE25X1 is a passenger eVTOL that has already secured pre-orders for more than 700 aircraft from buyers inside China alone. Backing those orders, strategic cooperation agreements worth over $2 billion, signed with names like China Southern Airlines, General Aviation, and AVIC International. Let that sink in. A national airline isn't just watching this technology from the sidelines, it's placing orders for it, the same way it would order a fleet of traditional jets. That's not innovation hype. That's an airline betting its future fleet on an aircraft most of the world has never heard of. This is number 4. At number 3, the AutoFlight and Fengfei 5000, known publicly as the Sky Dragon. This is a genuine giant, a 5-ton, 10-passenger eVTOL built around a 20-meter compound wing, powered by 20 separate lift motors for redundancy. If several fail mid-flight, the aircraft is engineered to keep flying anyway. It first flew on February 5th, 2026 from a test base in Kunshan. And here's the strange part. Depending on which country's press you read, you'll see 2 different names for the exact same aircraft. Fengfei Aviation Technology, the domestic developer, calls it the Sky Dragon. AutoFlight, the same company's international brand, calls it the Matrix. Same wingspan, same motors, same aircraft. Built for short-haul regional routes, island hops, mountain routes, places where a runway doesn't exist. This is number 3. At number 2, the SAS 2000, and this one isn't a vehicle at all. It's a tethered, airship-shaped wind turbine, about the size of a basketball court, hovering at altitudes around 2,000 meters, where wind is stronger and steadier than it ever is on the ground. In real-world testing, it climbed to altitude and generated 385 kilowatt-hours of electricity, feeding it directly into the local grid. It's officially the world's first megawatt-class high-altitude wind power system built for urban deployment, with a max output around 3 megawatts. No land cleared, no farmland displaced, just an empty sky turned into a power plant. This is number 2. At number 1, the AutoFlight Prosperity. In 2023, while most eVTOL companies were still running short test hops, the Prosperity flew 250 kilometers, 155 miles, on a single charge. That record still hasn't been broken by anyone, anywhere, in 2026. It's currently in active certification with China's Civil Aviation Administration, working toward real passenger service. Not a one-time stunt, but proof the technology already works at a distance most competitors haven't attempted. A flying car that splits apart, a jetpack that might one day fly itself, a turbine floating above cities, and now, the aircraft holding the record, none of them have beaten. This isn't one company chasing a headline. It's a country deciding the sky isn't the finish line anymore. This is number 1. 15 machines, 15 proofs. Not one of them is a concept, a render, or a promise for someday. They're flying right now. Over Chinese cities, through Chinese certification agencies, into export markets most people haven't started paying attention to. So here's my question for you. And I actually want an answer in the comments, not just a scroll past. If China is genuinely 10 years ahead in low-altitude flight, what happens if nobody closes that gap in time? Does the rest of the world catch up? Does it partner with China instead of competing? Or does it lose this race the same way it lost the race on solar panels and EV batteries? I'm not telling you the answer. I want to hear yours. If this opened your eyes to how far this technology has come, hit subscribe, because this list will look outdated within a year, and I'll be here covering exactly what replaces it. I'll see you in the next one.